the showrunner did say no one cares about Asians.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then he finally admitted in Zoom, like on a convention, and I saw his pain. He's like, yo man, like I loved it, some of the writers loved it, but the showrunner said that no one cares about Asians.
So why is there this ceiling for us in every, no matter where we try to go in what direction or profession, there's a cap to it, or there's some type of negative stereotype towards us that'll limit it, or where we have to be, to break through that ceiling, we have to be extra, extra, extra good, whereas someone else just needs to be really good.
It's throughout Asian American history. It's been happening for a long time.
Lucky Boys Podcast.
And what I'm seeing a pattern here in a lot of films where, whether it's a TV series or a movie, when they kill an Asian, it's very disposable. There's no feelings attached.
Yeah.
Whereas if they're killed like a white person within that story arc, there's so much that goes into it. You know, that and when he kills, it's like this humongous sacrifice that he made so everyone can live. If it's an Asian guy killed,
White savior.
it's because he had this conflict, you know, and he's a bad guy, and he decided, you know, it made him easy to kill without having feelings for him.
Like Will, you were saying, man, like how these Asian characters are dying. I agree with you, only because they're not writing good characters for these Asian American actors. Because the only one that comes to mind is Glenn from Walking Dead. People love him when he died. There was like, well, in the comic, he was the first victim. In the show, it was that
Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yeah, Glenn from Walking Dead. Steven Yeun's character. But so in the TV show, they killed two people in that scene. It was that white guy. He didn't die that way in the comics, which I found out later. So when Steven died, his character, people were like shocked. No one talked about the white guy. Talked about him because they grew up in his journey. They loved him. He was a relatable character, and and all the Asian Americans like, yeah, he got with Maggie and stuff like that.
Yeah, Maggie.
Yeah,
she was so hot.
So I think
I
think it's the flaw is the character development, dude. You know, like if you start writing good characters for an Asian American actor, I think people will sympathize it when they're passing. Like my sister's, she just finished watching Grimm on the NBC show, and there was like I forgot his name, but there's a Filipino Chinese actor in there, and there was a scene where he died. Like, he died? I'm not watching the show. I'm like, but he's Asian. It's like, oh no, don't worry, he's coming back. Only because he was written well. He was part of the cast. He wasn't just a side character. You know, I think we need to focus on writing good characters. Doesn't matter Asian, Black, Hispanic. We need to write good stories for characters.
They're just so easily disposed without without missing him. You don't really miss that character. They're easily forgettable. And that's a lot of it's due to the writing, if not, 100% of it. And you're absolutely right. I mean, when I saw Glenn go from The Walking Dead, that destroyed me.
Yeah.
And the first time that I thought he went, remember that part where he was in the garbage and they ended the season?
Spoiler.
But that's so old. Like, it's not. It's like at this point, it's your fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, when I thought that he was done in there, it killed me. And when he survived, it was like, yes, that is some excellent writing. Go, go, go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's no way they're gonna kill him because like he's such an integral part of the identity of the series, and they killed him. And it hurt me to the core.
Well, I knew before because the comic book issue came out first. And I read, I was like, oh, fuck, he's died. And then,
but, I was hoping, I didn't read the comics, but I heard from people that that's what happened.
Yeah.
But I was hoping, and a lot of other people along with me, was hoping that they would somehow restructure it so that Glenn survived.
But they did, though, because Glenn actually gets killed early in the comic books, right?
Right.
No.
And then in the show, he dies in the third, fourth season.
No, it was a correct timeline. No,
was it?
Yeah,
Really?
because I read up to issue 50-ish. Carol died a long time ago. Her character, her death.
She's still there.
She's still there.
Yeah.
So they definitely shifted that part. But yeah, Glenn, he died according to the comics, and it was very noble and messed up, man.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think that says something about, because I heard there's a lot of politics actually in the writer's room for characters, right? So I think also important is for Asian Americans to have a voice is to be in the writer's room too.
Yes, definitely.
that's at the end of the day, who's gonna write a better character of you than Asian Americans? Do you know what I mean? So I think that's another important issue. Is like people need to practice that skill, that craft, and that's why I look up to people like Henry. You know, he's the other generation, but he's inspiring the next, hopefully. You know.
Yeah. And I think the most recent one was I forgot his last name, Peter from Daredevil. His recent article that he wrote about in Daredevil. They didn't expand his character. They had the source there, but the showrunner didn't say no one cares about Asians.
Oh damn.
Yeah, and then he finally admitted in Zoom, like on a convention, and I saw his pain. He's like, "Yo, man, like I loved it. Some of the writers loved it, but the showrunner said that no one cares about Asians."
So it was actually written.
It was
for
actually
him,
written.
and
Yeah,
he
like-
saw it, and he thought that he was actually going to read for this.
No.
the
He
scene.
is, yeah, read it for the scene. Like his
Yeah.
character was already built. People loved his character. He was
Right.
like the second gangster in this TV show. When I heard about that, I was like, wow, that sucks.
Why is that? Why is there this ceiling for us in every, no matter where we try to go in what direction or profession, there's a cap to it, or there's some type of negative stereotype towards us that'll limit it, or where we have to be, to break through that ceiling, we have to be extra good, whereas someone else just needs to be really good. You know, like, why is that?
I mean, I think it's throughout Asian American history. It's been happening for a long time, you know, and a lot of it started when you know, people started coming over from building the railroads, right? They had their queues on and their silk, you know, silk wardrobe, right? So there was I think it was like a masculinity thing where you would put these people down because you wanted to feel macho in a way, you know. And I think it's definitely been passed on through media, through culture, you know. But now it is about like, okay, let's put our version of ourselves out there, you know. And then if people see that, they'll just get more acclimated to that, you know. It's steps, right? It's the same thing with Mulan. It's like, you gotta see those faces, and then over time, you know, I was watching Brave New World, right? You're talking about Glenn having sex, and then now we see this. It's like on Peacock. It's like the new NBC thing. I think he's like half Asian, but he looks very Asian, and they're literally banging on screen now. You know, it's like a whole different. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So it's about representation. It's about like how we portray.
Are we the lovers and stuff like that?
Yeah, we are portrayed in a different way, and yeah, it's been there.
I will
think.
say that there is an untapped revenue source in that. I think people, for whatever reason, has been conditioned to think that Asian Americans are not bankable on screen, or their stories are not important. And I think there's a cloud of mystery surrounding Asians, right? Just in the culture within itself. And if we were to able to kind of demystify some of that through incredible writing, through incredible stories, through incredible talent, showcasing that to the world, I think there's an opportunity in something that's new and refreshing. Instead of seeing the same old things being remade over and over, the same type of patterns every single time, because that's where the safe money is. I would gamble that if someone were to find a way to monetize this and see this opportunity that's untapped, I mean, and I am saying this is an oil well. If we're going back to when oil was really precious, this is like a huge, like it's right there. Like, you guys have a great opportunity. This is a gold mine right here. Like, you guys go dig there. You got to get the tools. You got to find the right tools and people to dig this site, because it's there. It's there for the taking, but everyone keeps ignoring it. They think it's not important.
I think what you're saying is funny because there was a moment, right? Better Luck Tomorrow. People were just like, yo, we gotta support this guy. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? It was like, it doesn't matter who made that film. Someone made a film about us. Let's go support. So there's definitely like that community that's ready.
Did you watch that in theaters?
I think I saw it at like college. I think I saw like they did a screening or something. They did a screening. Yeah. But you know, I mean, how many theaters was that in? I don't really know. But there's definitely like the audience that's there for it, and then now you're talking about, you know, Chinese, like Chinese
Right.
money, right?
The world's a lot smaller,
Yeah.
you know, and I guess when you look at it globally, Asians make up the majority of it.
But the challenge for us is like we're not gonna be telling Chinese story. Like we're gonna be telling.
But
our,
that's
our
my
stories,
point
yeah.
exactly. That there is a huge untapped potential in the Asian American story. Think about it. America still has this appeal to people that aren't in America. Now, if you look at Asians, like people still follow American style, American music, American culture, right? From all, whether it's from a Latino, whether it's from an African American or a white pop star or a white actor, or Asian culture, people still look to America as I guess the forefront of that. Now, in the politics and all that, that's a whole separate conversation. But in terms of cool factor, style, fashion, well, I still believe there's a lot of cachet in being an American when it comes to those subject matters. And those are that's part of what sells films. Now, if they were able to find a way to monetize an Asian American story and make it compelling and authentic enough to put on a screen, I mean, it doesn't have to be 100%, you know, from end to end. You still got to make it, you know, a
Commercial,
movie. Yeah, you got to have some
marketable.
something. You still got to put something palatable where people recognize the taste, but enough to make it go, I recognize it, but this is, whoa, this is interesting. This is different. I didn't think it would be. I didn't think this could taste like that. I didn't think Asians were like that. You would see Asians, and I would even bet European people from other countries look at it and go, oh my gosh, that was a hell of a movie. That was good. That was really effing good. Case in point, Crazy Rich Asians.